How often do you let yourself dream big? How often do you dream as big as your heart desires and really go after the experiences that would bring you so much joy? Today we're going to talk dreaming big, living an inspired life, and bucket list experiences with my very good friend Shanae. She is my personal daily inspiration on these topics and will share with us her advice for creating bucket list moments, celebrating life, and surrounding yourself with nature, flow, wonder, and whimsy. You're listening to the Positively Delighted Show, episode number 24. Welcome to the Positively Delighted Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Henry, and in this podcast, we'll be creating a positive mindset through inspirational interviews, music, stories, and exercises for building happy habits. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Positively Delighted Show. I have such a fun episode planned for you today, and oh my goodness, so many updates. Let me just fill you in on what's been happening the past few months. So I've been working on some exciting certifications and lots of travels and lots of other fun, exciting things. So here are the top things that have been happening. First off, I spent most of February working on 2 really big certifications that I've been working on for a while, but I finally sat down and said, this is going to be a priority. I'm going to finish these. And I finished both of them, which was really, really cool. And I took my exams and I got the results back last month and I passed for both of them. So the first certification is Jack Canfield's Success Principles. So I am now officially a Canfield success trainer, and Jack Canfield is the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and the author of the Success Principles and the Aladdin Factor and many other amazing books, and also a featured teacher in The Secret. And I'm so honored to have this certification, and I got the news when I was sitting in a diner in Florida with my parents, and I was hysterically crying. I was so excited, but I was crying and just saying, my face looks sad, but I am so happy right now. So it's just a really, really cool moment. And then my other certification that I got is for Marcy Shimoff's Happy for No Reason training program. And Marcy Shimoff has been someone that I have looked up to since I was a teenager. I read her book, Happy for No Reason, when I was 14, and it's been my happiness guidebook for pretty much my whole life since then. And I am so honored to be in her first round of certified Happy for No Reason trainers. So both of those certifications, I'm so happy and honored to have those. I don't exactly know how I'm going to work in all of this amazing new material and workshops into my Positively Delighted brand yet, but stay tuned because this information is amazing and I just can't wait to share it with you. It's so great. Other really awesome updates that have been happening pretty much all last month, all the month of March, I spent car camping and I went all the way from Texas to Florida, up to Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, and all the way back to Texas. So it was quite the adventurous month, a little bit into April as well. And the top highlights from that trip are that I was the keynote speaker at the Full-Time Families annual rally in Florida. And this is such an amazing organization. It's for full-time RV families. And I was able to share my experiences about road schooling with them. And there were 70 families, over 300 parents and kids. And it was such an incredible experience. I made so many new friends. Hi, friends, if you're listening. And I just had such a blast. And it was so cool. We got to talk about road schooling and self-esteem, and I had coloring pages, and we did laughter yoga, and a kid sing-along that turned into a aerobics dance session. It was just basically amazing, and there were campfires and s'mores and potlucks, and I can't wait to go to another Full-Time Families event. They made me an honorary member, and I just love the organization so much. Also, after that, went up to Alabama for the annual RV Entrepreneur Summit, which you've heard about before. I've met so many of my friends through Heath and Alyssa's community with the RV Entrepreneur, and it was fun as always, and it's growing every year. And it was in the beautiful state park in Alabama at Lake Gunnersville State Park. It was so much fun. I had my friends that I car camped with, and my parents were there for all of these events, and we had such good family and friend time and campfires again galore. And then also, other big thing that happened, in addition to all of these fun, exciting events and travel, is that I achieved a huge goal personally for myself, which was to buy a Disney World annual pass. And I was so excited to be able to use it while we were in Florida and to be able to actually afford it. I looked at my budget, and with everything that I had been doing, I was able to make it work. And it was just kind of a big accomplishment to myself that I was able to afford that on my own and be able to have this magical reward for myself for a lot of the hard work that I've been doing with my business and with my brand. And I'm so excited to spend more time at Disney World for the next year. In addition to all of this, I've had new clients and projects and many new additions to my Etsy shop, which is now helping to support this podcast. So essentially, this podcast is now funded by affirmations, positivity, and coloring pages. I love that. Let's hear some more about our podcast sponsor. This episode is sponsored by the Positively Delighted Etsy shop. How would you like to have more positivity, love, and happiness in your life? Heck yeah, who wouldn't? Want to know the secret to having more of this goodness in your life? Well, the secret to having more of these good things is to surround yourself in happiness, because the more you see it around you and notice it, the more you'll attract into your life. At the Positively Delighted shop, I've got you covered with affirmations to cultivate the positivity mindset and habits of happiness. I love affirmations so much that I've put them on pretty much everything for you, from coloring pages to affirmation cards to art prints and gratitude worksheets. No matter where you are on your positivity journey, the shop has something for you. As a Positively Delighted Show listener, I've got a super special discount code just for you. Use the code PODCAST20 for an extra 20% off your order. Insider tip, this also stacks with any sales, so extra discounts for you. Head on over to etsy.com/shop/positivelydelighted or find the link in the show notes of this episode to get your positivity printables. New products are being added all the time to help you live a life of delight, laughter, and fun. So go check it out. Okay, now that we're all caught up, let's get into today's topic, which is dream big and live an inspired life. This episode is really exciting for two reasons. One, because it's with my friend Shanae, who is amazing. Two, because of the story surrounding this interview, which is rather exciting. First, let's talk about Shanae. We get into the story of how we met in this interview, but I want to say a few words about her before that. Shanae is a teacher, an artist, and a delight of a person. She and her husband Mark are full-time RVers, and their travel name is Trail Mix and Chocolate. Their tagline is seeking a sweet life of adventure. Shanae is so inspirational to me because she is full of joy and fun and all kinds of life wisdom. She's always seeking that sweet life of adventure, seeking beauty and creative inspiration and learning. In this episode, we specifically dig into bucket list experiences and her 19 for 2019 list. We talk about her greatest bucket list experience, which is swimming with manatees, all of the wonderful things she has planned for this year, and how you too can celebrate life with magical experiences. Now, let me set the tone for this interview and share the story with you behind our recording. This recording took place with Shanae and I sitting in my car camper in the parking lot of Magnolia Table in Waco, Texas. Eating at Magnolia Table was on Shanae's 19 for 2019 list, and I drove down from the Dallas area to share this experience with her. Even though there was a 2.5-hour wait to be seated and we were allowed to leave the property until our name was called, we wanted to stay close by. Because once you receive a text saying your table is ready, you only have 7 minutes to claim your table, or you lose it entirely. So we took this opportunity to record this podcast episode, and it is full of the building excitement before Shanae realizes this dream. We kept a close eye on the phone, waiting for this text message to come through, but nearly missed crossing off this bucket list item. Stay tuned for the end of the interview to hear the dramatic outcome of this story. Let's jump into the interview in my car, in a parking lot with Shanae McDevitt. Hey Shanae, how's it going?
I'm so good. How are you?
Where are we right now? Can you tell me where we are? Paint a picture for everyone.
All right, so we are in the parking lot of Magnolia Table, just
in Waco, Texas.
In Waco, Texas. Not even really, I guess, in their parking lot.
Yeah, we're in someone else's parking lot, but shh.
In a different parking lot. The sign said it was fine. We're checking off something of my bucket list for this year, but there was a 2.5-hour wait.
Yeah.
So we're just hanging out in your vehicle.
Yes.
This is
my glamper car.
Yes.
Yeah.
All set up. We got some mint mocha coffee.
Cheers.
So cheers to that.
Well, we're just having a good old time in here. What do you think of my setup? How do you like it?
I love it. Like, these are my colors, so I feel like we're kindred spirits.
I feel like we're kindred spirits in many ways.
Exactly. I love it. I love all the little decor that you have.
Yep, that's all from my mom.
So homey, so comfy. I could do this.
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable. I mean, I'm car camping. You actually have an RV, so you guys actually are just living, every day. Light camping, you know. So I am camping with you while you're living in your spot. You know what I mean.
You're like mooch docking.
Yeah, I'm
but
mooch
you don't
docking.
even need electricity.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need anything really except can I just come in and brush my teeth?
Yeah, can I come in and hang out? Yeah, anytime.
Because it's warmer in your place than mine.
But I will say, like, being set up in here, I get why you're like, I can't really work in there because I would fall asleep. Like,
yeah, because right now it's at the point where it's not even hot in here or really warm per se, but it's kind of that perfect temperature where you're like, I could just lay down and take a nap now.
We both came in and we crawled in and then we're like, all right, we could take off our outer layer of coat. Because it's what?
It's 40? Like 40 something outside.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're from Texas, it's
like, this is rough, God. Well, I say the same thing. It's 50s outside. It is rough to be outside right now. No.
I mean, literally, though, unless it's warm, it's cold.
Yeah. But then when it's hot, it's like, oh my God, it's so hot.
Yeah.
I can't be satisfied. What is this?
Well, just Friday, it was, I think it might have been 87, because we came from Austin.
Yeah.
And we're, like, packing up the RV. We just did a whole bunch of reno stuff. And I'm, like, in shorts and a tank top. Like, this is the weather I've been wanting for the past week and a half.
Now it's gone.
And it lasted a day. But just enjoy whatever you got.
Yeah. Just be prepared for whichever. I mean, I'm kind of glad. I did bring a lot of warm clothes.
Yeah.
I was tempted, like, oh, do I need, like, a t-shirt or something? Check the weather again. Nope. I think I'm good. Nope. Don't need that.
My problem is when we go places, and luckily, like, now we're in the RV, so my wardrobe goes with me, but if I travel somewhere, I pack for the weather that I want.
Oh, no, you're, aspirationally packing.
Yes, and then I get there, and I'm always... It's generally I pack because I want it to be warm.
That's funny.
Yeah. So there have been plenty of times that I've just had to, like, buy a cardigan or...
Yeah. I guess if you just bring a cardigan... then you're good wherever you go, right? I mean, if you just brought that, in theory.
I just think, like, I remember packing, like, a 3/4 sleeve, but it was perfect, and then the sun sets, and
you're freezing.
It's so cold.
It's like packing for San Diego. I can never do, because it's so warm during the day, and then it's so cold in the evening. Like, what is this?
I love San Diego.
I do, too.
They got something special going on there.
I think we should go to San Diego on a trip. That would be great.
Yes. I would love to go back. So we did 2 weeks in San Diego, and we were... we were at least 45 minutes outside of the city at an RV park with no service.
Oh, wow.
Which was actually a good thing because it made us every day do the drive-in.
Yeah,
so we saw all the different areas. Each day we did like a different coffee shop for working during work hours.
Neat.
And then after work we would just go explore.
Yeah.
So we saw so much more of that city than we normally would because... we had no service.
Yeah.
We kind of have to...
So you're just making the best of it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I love your enthusiasm and your perspective and your mindset. I feel like we are kindred spirits in many ways. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about the topic of dreaming big and living an inspired life.
Yes.
Because I just feel like when I need inspiration, I text you. Because and then I'm just like, wow, I feel like I have some great goals and I'm working towards them. And then who else has great goals? Like Shanae. Shanae has great goals. And they're beautiful.
I said that to you we talked on the phone the other day, and at the end, it wasn't even Friday. And I'm like, I was about to say happy Friday to you, but you're just one of those people that gives me Friday vibes. Like, we're done on our phone.
You give me the Friday feels.
Yes.
I want to be that person that gives people the Friday feels. I love that.
And you know those people when you interact with them. Like, it could be somebody that's your go-to, or you just meet them. It's their energy, like, whatever it is, they immediately bump you up.
Yeah.
You're just like,
I love that.
Oh, man, you just filled my cup. I didn't even know it was 3/4. I was thirsty. Thank you.
I love that. So we met. I was just visiting Heath and Alyssa, which I feel my podcast is sometimes just like an ad for Heath and Alyssa's website. Because I'm like, oh yeah, this person I met through Heath and Alyssa. You know, they're just kind of the glue that holds my life together.
The bigger community.
Pretty much, yeah. So you and your husband Mark were meeting up with them, and I happened to be there, and we were all in Maine.
Yes.
I want to talk about that trip just a little bit, because I feel like that was so special. Because didn't you just come over for dinner, I think, one night? Did we go out, or did we just kind of hang out?
So there were 2 meetups. There was, like, a meetup at a barbecue lobster shack with a bunch of people.
Yeah, I definitely missed that.
Yeah, I don't think you were not there.
I'm really sad that I was not there for that. That sounded...
But that was one of those, like, throw it on the Facebook page, whoever can come, can come. And then we connected.
Okay, so you met them then.
We met them then, but there were so many people. Yeah. We didn't really get to chat. So we were similar ages, and we were like, let's get together, outside of this, if you're free. If not, no pressure. So we did. We came on over. I think we had gone to like Thunder Hole right before we came over.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you went. If you saw Thunder Hole, but it's pretty cool.
I'll have to ask Alyssa. I feel like
it's explosive.
I was just in the car with them, and they took me places, and I took pictures of it. I was just there.
So specifically, we were in Acadia National Park. To even more reference it in, it was somewhere that was a must-get for us.
Okay.
So one of the reasons we started with the RV thing was we wanted to get to more national parks and places that you struggle to when you only have, 10 vacation days in
for
your
sure.
location-based. So we got married in June.
So, it was pretty recent because we met up in September.
Yes, so we were there for my birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm like re-remembering things.
Yeah.
So we got married in June. Mark's sister got married in Portland, Maine in August.
Oh, okay, so that's why you were probably up in that area and everything.
And so we extended the trip, and Mark's family had always gone to Maine, and I was a new lover of it.
Beautiful.
So I said, this is something we do now when it's near one of our birthdays. Where would, within reasonable driving distance, where's somewhere that you would want to celebrate your birthday? And so we splurged, we stayed at a park on the water in Acadia, and it was just...
That sounds beautiful.
It was magical. So cool. I did so many paintings there, and...
I bet they were amazing.
I want to say, the Grand Canyon was the first national park that, like, pushed my limits to an insane level, but in Acadia, they have this hike, Precipice Trail.
Okay.
And it just pushed my limits in a completely different way, because it's... hike/rock climb, and they have almost like ladder rungs welded into the side of the mountain.
Okay.
And you there's no tie-in, you're not.
And you did this?
Yes.
Wow. Props.
I'm so proud of myself. And my girlfriend went there for her honeymoon, and she said you have to do Beehive Trail, which was like a baby version of this.
Okay.
It was similar.
Is it just named for? Why is it named Beehive Trail?
No, you buzz around.
Okay, because I'm like, it's not because of, certain wildlife that live there, because I know you're allergic to bees, so.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like, did you, check into that first? Yeah, I feel like a place called Beehive Trail, you wouldn't actually want to go.
Yeah, I would generally dodge that.
But yes, so you really enjoyed Acadia.
Yeah, long story short.
So we met at you came over to hang out with Heath and Alyssa, and then I was there, because I was visiting them, and mooch vacationing on their travels. It was great. We were working, so it's fine. Yeah. But yeah, so we met up then, and what I love so much is that I think we just kind of decided, hey, do you want to go watch the sunrise tomorrow morning in Acadia? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you guys were just down. You're just like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. We'll meet you there.
Yeah, it was on our list, right? Mm-hmm. So when you have to get up that early, it's helpful to have an accountability partner other than the person in the bed next to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Also cold and doesn't want to get out of bed. But none of us expected how cold it was going to be.
I don't think I've ever felt cold like that.
Cold and windy.
Yeah.
We became penguins.
We did. We also bonded a lot.
Yeah.
As we were all huddled under the same blanket, so...
I was surprised how busy it was for that time of year and considering how cold it was. But it's the furthest point, I don't want to missay this, but it's the furthest point that you can see the sun rise in the United States.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. Like, it's the first place that the world, I mean, not the world, the world sees in the morning. The country sees in the morning, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So we were the first.
We were the first.
Of everyone that day in the country to see the sun.
And then afterwards, we met up for breakfast.
Yes, I love the breakfast to me, I think was so special also because I was warmer and I could, like, remember that part. Mm-hmm. But I just loved that so much. I think what also was really cool about it was that Mark was able to have his full work day. And we were able to have the whole experience before it even started.
Oh, yeah. So we were eventually, we have to go our separate ways. Mm-hmm. But because we woke up at 5, and I am a fan, I would rather get up early and do something than stay up late doing something, if that makes sense.
That is where we are not,
I feel like, this morning I was up at 6, and I'm like, she's gonna be in there for a few more hours.
Yeah. I mean, I was really proud of myself for waking up around 8:30, and finally getting out of bed, but I mean, eventually I do have to seek out a bathroom, so I can't stand here forever.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just thought that was really, really special. We were just, and you were mentioning how that restaurant had a no cell phone policy, so we were really just really engaged during that. I mean, I think I broke that a few times. I remember taking some photos, but
it's just cool when you go somewhere and they point something like that out to you, and they're like, "This is just a no cell phone zone."
Yeah,
it's like it might have been a bear themed diner.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And then they had like pancakes and yummy food, and it was just also, I think what I loved so much was walking around downtown Bar Harbor. That's where we were, right?
It's Bar Harbor.
And it was just the golden hour. Oh my gosh. So the way the sun was just hitting that town by the water, it was amazing.
And you know, they're just like the whole group there, 5 of us.
Yeah.
Just really good people, good conversations, the questions that they're asking questions that make you pause and think, and you learn about each other. That was the first time I ever seen Harry Potter photos. So it's pretty much just like the live photos on your phone. But my phone was so old that I had never seen them. So I remember Heath showing me one. I was like, it's like Harry Potter newspaper on your phone.
I know, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
if I can reference something to Harry Potter, I normally do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I also really love that we can talk Harry Potter, because I feel like this is just some things that I need in my life. More Harry Potter fans. But yeah. I loved that whole experience. I think that was really, really special. And also, I mean, after that, you came to the RVE Summit, and you had a really amazing experience that happened before that. And apparently I was introducing everyone with this fun fact that I completely forgot I was even doing this, but you did not, because you reminded me of it the other day. But one of the things I love so much about you is that you have these wonderful goals and just passions about certain things in life. And you were talking to me about how you wanted to swim with manatee, because you love manatees. And I have found out just the depth that you love manatees.
Yes.
So can you tell me about this moment where you actually got to live this dream and swim with the manatees? Can you tell me about this?
So this has been a bucket list item since, I'm going to say, 2nd grade.
That's amazing.
In the 2nd grade, we adopted a manatee, which seems like, oh, okay, like, you adopted a sea cow, why did that stick with you? Well, my pappy, Niner, my pop-pop, he lives in Key Largo, which is the first island in the chain of the Keys off of Florida. And
I heard about it in the Beach Boys song.
Yes. And so when you go there, there's so much manatee stuff. I'm talking like manatee mailboxes, manatee murals, manatee, all the things.
So did it remind you of him?
I don't know if there was
maybe
some
subconsciously, like it just gave you like the warm fuzzies because it just made you think of him.
Yeah, and so maybe there was like some subconscious thing. But growing up, that was always one of the things. Like if you knew me, you knew Shanae loves manatees.
Shanae loves mannequin.
And people were like, well, have you ever seen one?
I almost said mannequin instead of manatee. You're like, wait, that's wrong.
If you know me, you know I love manatees. My last name used to be Ninehauser. So there's like certain things like I love the number 9. And I love manatees. Yeah, my family's super into the number 9, which would segue into, like, Pluto is a planet. It's the 9th planet. My whole life, like, it was my thing because it was 9.
This
like
is a planet. You can't just take... I can't believe that they just took that away. They're just like, it's not a planet anymore. Just FYI.
I have degrees in science now, so there's the one part of my brain that's like...
rationalizing it.
Yeah, I guess. According to science, I have to agree. But the part of me that's like, change. When I was a kid, my planet thing that I loved to play with said that Pluto was a planet.
So there's a car backing up next to us, and it's like getting really close to me, making me nervous. It's like, if it hits me, it's gonna hit me right now in the way my car is going. But yes, continue, yes.
Yeah, so even when I was in undergrad, I joined a co-ed service fraternity. And when you join a fraternity, you'll get, like, a call sign or a brother name.
Yeah.
And mine was, or is, Agua Serenia. And Serenia is a species name for manatee.
What?
So I'm talking, like...
Was that something they just gave you, or did you pick that?
I didn't get to pick it.
Are you serious?
The job of your big, when you join any type of fraternity or sorority, the job of your big when you're pledging and joining is to get to know you.
So they named you that?
Yes.
Okay.
So my family line, the theme was, the first word is, what is it? There's earth, wind, fire, your...
element?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm like,
Yeah, something that ties into that, and then the second one is something that you love.
I love that.
And so agua, I love water. I have always loved
Manatees
water.
live in water.
Yeah,
so
and a lot of my, like, initial artwork really comes from that. And I love manatees.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my big is an artist, and the piece of artwork she gave me when I pledged was literally a manatee that said my name. And you just saw in our RV yesterday.
Yes, you have a beautiful wedding present that has you and Mark riding a manatee,
yes.
I think.
So Mark's college friend, Joey, he did a painting of a manatee.
It's fabulous.
We're both on it. Mark's got his cowboy hat because we met on a farm, and I'm in my wedding gown in this painting. And it was one of those things, like, on our wedding day, he comes up and he's like, here's your gift. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And he's like, no, like, I want you to open this now.
Right now.
And like, you know us. Like, it's perfect. So that's a really long way to say, like, manatees throughout my life.
Yeah.
Much love.
Just side note, I feel like that would have been a really unique, like, trash the wedding dress experience. If you'd actually, like, ridden a manatee in your dress, I feel like if that was an option, you would have done that. Just saying.
I mean, they are slow, but I don't know. Right on.
I mean, I feel like it's really, like, climactic in my mind, but you'd just be, like, slow moving, like,
I could float next to one.
Yeah, there you go. So when did you get to, like, live this dream? Like, you love manatees. We feel it now. Everyone can feel it. We're sharing in this love with you. I love manatees, just hearing you talk about it. So you went down to Florida, and what happened?
We passed through Florida with the RV, and we booked an excursion.
Where did you book it on?
It was...
If someone wants to relive this experience now that you've talked it up.
I can give you the link. Okay. It was a company. I did the research online. I read all the reviews. I can send you the link for the one, because they gave me the reservation.
Sweet.
We did... like a 5 a.m. So we were there before...
We like to get up early.
Yeah. And I'm like that with even the national parks. Like, Mark he likes to get his sleep on. And I'm like, nope, we gotta get there before all the other people. Even the other day, we went through Waco, and I'm like, the problem is that everybody's awake now. And he's just like, nay. So, okay.
There you go. Yes.
So we booked an excursion, and we went out on a boat. And the really cool thing was that there was only... I want to say, other than Mark and I, there was a group of 4 other women that were flight attendants. And so they were just doing it as a side trip.
Fun.
So I'm like, I'm not really going to have to fight for the manatees. And I'm just really hoping...
But you would have.
Oh, yeah. But I'm like really hoping the manatees are out, that the water temperature's right. Because, you know, you can pay for something like this and there not be any.
Yeah.
So won't talk about this forever, but it was one of my most perfect days.
Yeah.
I got hugged by a manatee. Like,
oh my gosh.
No lie. Kissed a manatee, and it was like we got in and we went to a few different spots. The first spot, there weren't that many. We saw them more as a group, all of us together.
But what was that moment like when you saw the first one? Because, I mean, you'd probably seen them before.
I had only seen one before at a zoo.
Okay.
And it was so anticlimactic that I was like, I don't really need to see them in this setting. I want to see them...
Yeah.
In the wild.
So this is the first time that you'd seen one in the wild.
Yes.
Not only that, were you in the water with it when you saw it, or were you above the water?
I think the first time that I saw it, that's such a good question now I'm thinking about it. The first time that I saw one, I was in the water. So I remember being in the boat and looking out and there was some type of shape, but you couldn't really see it.
Yeah.
So we get in the water.
Did your like adrenaline start pumping? Like you're like, what is that?
Gosh.
What is that? What is it?
Mark has a video after we got out the water the first time and he's like, how is it? I'm like, this is one of the best days of my life. And even afterwards, as we're getting out of the wetsuits, I'm sure the other woman thought I was crazy because I'm like, Mark, other than our wedding day, this is one of the best days of my life. And they're like, really? And I'm like, this is such a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. So the first one in, it was all of us floating together. Mm-hmm. We went to a different spot, and this was the best one because the other girls went with the leader, and a manatee just came up to Mark and I and took it with us. And, you know, they have buoys up that they're like, you're not allowed to go beyond that because that's just sanctuary space. Nobody but the manatees can go there. And Mark had the GoPro. He was being a good husband. He's just documenting the whole thing, really. But this manatee, we were, I feel, bonded. It was swimming with me. It was rolling under me. It, you know, you rub its belly. It would take me with it, and when I stopped, it would look at me and, like, come back.
It was probably like, I don't know who this chick is, but she loves me so much, and I just want to be in her presence
I was just in my glory spot. Like, this is just amazing.
Yeah.
The final spot that we went to, when I talk about getting hugged by a manatee, everybody else had gotten out of the water, and the captain was taking a photo of Mark and I, and he's like, don't freak out, but just so you know, the manatees that you were just with followed you over here. Oh. And they're behind you, there was 2 of them. And so in the photo, Mark and I are there floating on our back, and I don't know if I've ever seen myself this excited in a photo. I'm like, like so happy, like these manatees are surprising me with love. And he's like, okay, like, you know, it's kind of time.
Yeah.
So I go over to the ladder, and this manatee comes up on my legs, and with its little, I don't know, fins, it tucks under my legs and wouldn't let me go. And like, I have the picture. Because Mark was still behind me. Yeah. And it just held me there. And, you know, I'm like, they were probably mating, and it just liked me. And for me, it was a hug.
Whatever.
But this manatee held on to me. It slid down my legs all the way down to my toes. I have a picture of my toes tucked under its little hands. Aww. Like, we're holding hands. And then at the very last second, it just let go, and I was like,
my soul, it's full.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to send me those photos. I want to include those in the show notes.
I can. And so maybe that's where we got the I speak manatee from.
Yes, yeah.
Because
she speaks manatee. Yeah, I guess that's what I was going up and telling people, like, hi, this is Shanae, she speaks manatee. Enjoy your conversation.
Yes. So I was telling you on the phone that you do very good introductions. Thank you. You pitch people very well, and you make, because when you're in any setting, but especially at a conference, sometimes it's hard to break that initial barrier. Yeah. So you walking up and being like, hey, this is Shanae, she speaks manatee, and it's immediately like, what does that even mean? And like, I obviously can get very animated talking about manatees.
It's very engaging.
So I'm like, let me tell you.
Yeah, and everyone's like, whoa, yeah, tell me. Why do I love manatees so much after this conversations? I want to go. You should be like a rep for this experience, because they're probably going to.
Yeah, I started as a wildlife conservation major. Like, I wanted to save the manatees. Yeah. I'm saying, like, this is such a big thing in my life. But that trip in Florida, I did that, and then another thing we have in common is I love Harry Potter. So a big thing on my bucket list was I have to get to Harry Potter World. Yeah. And I did it.
Was it everything you ever hoped it would be?
It was amazing. It was amazing.
It's so well done.
And I got to do it with Mark. I got to do it with my twin brother, who grew up with me as a nut job nerd, reading all the books, like doing all the things.
Did he share in the passion?
He was excited and present, but he had been there before. And so, we were there with his girlfriend. So the really cool thing is, like, when it's your siblings, sometimes they're like, I'm gonna go, but I'm also still gonna give you kind of crap, but I love you. His girlfriend knew all the cool spots and would be like, Shanae, we have to go in here. Sometimes there's a really long line, but I think it would be worth it. I've never done it, but since you're here and you love Harry Potter, we're doing it.
That's great.
Because I could have very easily just been like, it's okay, we don't have to do the line. Like, I know this is about me, but I don't want to make it about me.
You're like, I don't want to make it about me, but I want to do it.
Yeah. So her being there and being so excited.
That's good.
Even just as, like, another woman, I'd be like, yes.
Yeah. You're like, yes, thank you.
Yeah. So
that's so special.
Then when we met, you had this amazing follow-up question that blew my mind a little bit, because I'm like, these are my bucket list things, and you're like, Well, what else is on your bucket list?
Did that really stump you?
Yes.
I was just like, wow, this manatee thing was just so amazing. I just want to know what's next. And also for me, I had a similar experience the year before. Mm-hmm. Actually, no. Was it? Yeah, it was the year before, where my lifelong dream was to hold a Tasmanian devil. Mm-hmm. Because I've been obsessed with Tasmanian devil since I was in the 4th grade.
Yes.
And it's been a lifelong passion. Obsessed with them. I never got to see one in person until I was 21. Finally got to see one in a zoo.
So where did you get, did you see them on Animal Planet?
They were supposed to be at the San Diego Zoo. And when I was in the 4th grade, we went on vacation to San Diego.
That's the zoo, right?
Yeah, it's the zoo. And my mom said, well, while we're, doing research on our vacation, look on the web, look online at these different places and tell me what you want to go see.
Yeah.
So I was looking online and I saw on the website for the San Diego Zoo, they said home to one of the country's only Tasmanian devils. I said, what? I'd always been a Looney Tunes fan. I'd always been attached to Taz.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I don't know why, because Taz is the most ridiculous character, and it's nothing like an actual Tasmanian devil. But
another interesting connection to something when you were much, much younger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was so excited that I didn't know that was a real creature.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was a made-up Looney Tunes character. So, which it kind of is, because it's nothing like it. I digress. But I went to the zoo. I knew exactly where the exhibit was. I had it on the map. I said, it's right here. And we got there, and I was so excited. And the cage was empty. I was so sad.
Where was it?
It was near the Australia section, but where they had it was in this really tiny enclosure because it was pretty old at that point. There was only one of them left, and they were endangered at that point, and they couldn't get any more, and shortly after that it passed away, so it was sick and it wasn't in the enclosure.
Aww.
I was so devastated, and thus, by not being able to see it, it sparked this passion for, I want to see one, and then there were none in the country. I would have gone anywhere. Well, we were RVing, we would have gone wherever to see it. There weren't any.
So this is build up.
And so I was just, instead of calling my savings a savings fund, or a savings account, I just called it my Tasmania fund. Because I was like, well, I have to go to Tasmania to see one now. That's kind of the plan. And we finally were able to get some back in the country. I say we, as if I'm part of the zoo system.
No, this was part of you.
This was part of me. I was very invested. I mean, I went to college to be a marsupial geneticist. And then I realized that wasn't really a thing. I mean, it could be, I guess. I'm sure there are people that do it.
And I'm I went to college for wildlife conservation, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I realized very quickly that biology was not my strong suit. Also, by the time I got through school, my teachers pointed out, that they might be extinct by the time you get out, right? And then you would have gone through, thank you for that very harsh reality check. Okay, cool. I'll just major in e-commerce. That's nice.
I'm going to pivot either way.
Yeah, so. I'm just going to pivot. I can't get these labs. I don't know what a microliter is, so.
They are hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. We talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so, but when you were talking about your manatee experience, it really hit me because the year before, for my graduation trip from grad school, my mom and brother and I all went to Denmark and to visit my mom's exchange family. And we went to the Copenhagen Zoo, and I got to hold a Tasmanian devil. Not only hold a Tasmanian devil, a baby Tasmanian devil.
Wow.
So, the dream that I had never even, let myself really believe was I want to hold a baby Tasmanian devil. Holding any Tasmanian devil was going to be hard enough, but a baby, going in the right season to even see a baby was going to be so hard. And they're so rare. And I just all of a sudden, in Denmark, of all places, got to hold a Tasmanian devil. And it blew my mind, and I'm just thinking, this never would have happened in America. They would not let me hold this creature.
What did that moment feel like for you?
It was the best moment of my life. I haven't been married, so I don't have a number one, so that's just my top one. This is my top. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm always looking for things that will top that. I guess that's how I'm going to know, when I found my husband, is that it's going to top that moment.
Yeah.
Because so far, I'm just I don't know, it was the best moment of my life, but I was also slightly afraid because a Tasmanian devil has the strongest bite in comparison to its size of any animal in the world. Mm. And with, this was a baby. The baby could have snapped my arm in half. And it was just, in my arms, just nestled right here in the little corner of my arm. And I'm I don't know if you're he was so calm. I'm like, I don't know if you're just very comfortable around humans or if you're sniffing me to see if I'm gonna be a tasty lunch. Like, I'm not really sure.
You're like, do you smell that I'm eager and that makes you hungry? Or do you get my energy that I love you and
I'm
you
like,
feel comforted?
Because the first time I ever saw a Tasmanian devil was at the Albuquerque Biopark.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on a behind-the-scenes tour, and I couldn't get anywhere near the Tasmanian devils, and I was so excited to see it. And they were so angry. Like, I was just looking at this little creature, and I got down, like, close to the cage, and I could tell the zookeeper was like, this girl's gonna get her fingers bit off, she's gonna stick her hand in there, like... She's watching me so closely, and I was just looking at this little guy, and I'm like, I love you so much! And he looked like he wanted to rip my face off. But I still loved him!
I think we all need that spirit animal, though. I think everybody should, I don't know if it's a spirit animal, but, like, something you connect to.
Yes.
To see the importance of, we live a very civilized life.
Yeah.
Generally.
Usually.
But, like, outside of that, there is a natural world that really does deserve that love and admiration, and we should protect it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right on.
It was such a magical experience, and so I really connected with you. But I guess we're coming back to that question of, like, well, what are your other dreams? I was kind of struggling with that myself, where after that happened, I was thinking, okay, well, this is kind of like my life's completion goal. I never actually planned the trip to Tasmania because I was just assuming that was going to be what happened, you know, that my life would be complete when I held a Tasmanian devil. So when it happened all of a sudden with no planning, I'm like, okay, well, now what do I do with my life? I had kind of like an identity crisis, which was kind of funny. So when I asked you that question, I was just really curious, like, well, do you have other, like, big dreams like this?
Yeah, and it was, so, you know, I don't know if it was similar for you. After I had my manatee experience, I still rode that high for a while, even months later at the RV summit.
Yeah.
But to have that, well, what's your next thing? So I was like, well, I did Harry Potter World.
You got two, like, right back to back.
Yeah, it was like, bang, bang. And I had this, like, big goal of traveling and seeing new places. And
you were already living on the road.
And I was on the road.
Like, my life is basically just made right now.
Yeah, so I'm like, I am living my dream, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't goal set.
Yeah, you shouldn't dream more. You can never dream too much.
Dream bigger dreams. Dream even bigger small dreams.
Yeah.
Because back to, like, well, how could you ever top of swimming a manatee?
You don't.
You can't.
Yeah, you don't.
Even if I did it again.
You can't dream something else that is... I mean, I don't know. Would you say equally as wonderful, or would be just wonderful? Doesn't matter if it's equally or not. Just dream something that makes you happy.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be more, less, equal. It just is.
Yeah.
Dream something that you know will fill you up, will give you that feeling of satisfaction.
And inspiration. Like we're saying, like, living an inspired life. I mean, I'm just curious, like, when you think of, like, living an inspired life, what does that mean to you?
So, for me, living an inspired life is, firstly, it's really about being present in the moment.
Yeah.
So, I feel that there are a lot of moments that are big and they're inspirational, but they're hidden, and you have to be present. You have to be aware to even catch them on. A lot of people, I'm guilty of it, you get into your grind. So the first thing of living an inspired life is knowing how to pause, to be present, to even just see the inspiration and the beauty and, like, smiling at somebody, and you don't know their story, but you see how even just smiling at them inspired them. They're gonna take that. They're gonna smile at somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, do something goofy. The woman that got a chuckle at us from, like... We as soon as we got our coffees in Magnolia, we were like, cheers! And she was like, oh, I love that. Like, in its own way, that is magic. And
we're just enjoying the moment.
I don't know if you've read Big Magic.
I haven't. It's on my list. I need to read it. We have it. I just haven't read it yet.
Okay, I was about to.
I have a happiness library. There's a lot of things in it. I need to read. Yeah.
So I think that there are a lot of moments of inspiration and magic all around us.
Yeah.
You just have to be present. You have to be open to seeing them, and having that lens.
And as you were saying that, it also kind of made me think, I mean, the big moments are amazing, and it's great to have those big moments, but also, I feel like you kind of also need those quiet dreams and quiet moments as well, or you're just going to be like, up, 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 up all the time, and, you know, you need those times to just kind of, you know, be, like you're saying. And just enjoy the quiet and simple pleasures around you. And I think that also kind of makes me think of when you talk about how much you love to be in nature and national parks, and I think that's a good way to kind of ride those highs, is to spend those quiet moments just enjoying and just understanding like how big and beautiful the world is around us.
Mm-hmm. Those are my most inspired times, or when we can for a weekend just disconnect, get into nature. Nature is my biggest inspiration, so one of my things every day is pretty quickly in the day to get outside, because I work, I create, I live, shower, cook, all in the RV.
Yeah.
But my biggest sigh of relief, and also my biggest inhale, is just getting outside.
Yeah.
Being inspired. Even when it's like a gloomy day, there's something. Just look for it.
Yeah, I love that. And can we talk a little bit about your art and how you take that inspiration around you and you carry that into your craft? Can you tell me a little bit about that process?
Yeah, so I think that when I create, it's me taking an experience, something that I had. Maybe it was, so recently we've been traveling through Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. I've seen a lot of cacti.
Yeah.
So just even being inspired by the monotony of driving across Texas.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's just
Texas is huge.
It's so big.
But seeing that, being inspired by it, and finding ways to, when it's raining outside and you're in the RV, I'm gonna paint a prickly pear cactus.
Yeah.
And I think I have like two faces for myself in my art world. I can be very meticulous and like detail oriented, but I want my art to be almost like a therapy and a release.
Yeah.
So I try to balance the two in there. So I'm thinking, because I painted it this morning, the prickly pear piece that I'm doing, I've done ink outline. So that's more for me, like that's my structured bit that I can't really ever get away from, because it's just me. But the watercolor, like this morning,
nice balance. I like
with
that.
the candle on, with my cup of coffee, the world is quiet, the sun's barely up, Mark is still sleeping, you're in our driveway. I've got music playing, and I'm just playing with watercolor and just like, mixing the perfect color. And when you see, like, I'm playing more with watercolor because it's easier to transport. But when you just you see it explode on the paper, it's
like it's coming alive before your eyes.
Yeah.
It was in your mind, and now it's on the paper.
Yes.
I think that's so special, because you're envisioning this in your mind, and then you're making it happen.
Yeah.
And I think when we dream, that's what we're doing. We're dreaming something, and then we make it happen. I think it's very similar to art in that way.
My big goal with my art is to somehow capture the feeling that this thing or this place gave me. So when I do plein air pieces, a recent plein air piece that I did was...
what is that?
So plein air is just outside in the nature.
Okay.
I think it might be French.
Okay. Well, I'm just like,
now you know. And it might be pronounced differently.
Is it, do you know how to spell that?
It's like PLEIN space AIR. There might be an E there. Yeah. I learned about it because Mark's Pop and his mom, they go to a plein air group in Maine. So every week, you just meet somewhere in the nature. They give you an hour, 2 hours to create. Okay. And then you come together for a group critique.
Okay.
So that's another reason I'm getting more into watercolor, because we go on these long hikes, and I cannot have my canvas, my palette knives, my paint.
Yeah, it's a lot of things to take.
So, but I can carry ink, water, some watercolor. But we were in Death Valley National Park. Okay. And one of my things on my 19 for 2019 is to see 12 sunrises.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
So we went for a sunrise at Zabriskie Point, I believe it is.
Okay.
And we got there before the sun rose. That's the thing with sunrises.
Yeah.
If it says 6:30 and you get there at 6:30, you missed it.
You missed it. Okay.
So we get there, we hike up before the sun's even up, and as the sun's coming up and barely illuminating it, I am immediately like, this is exactly what I need to try to capture.
Yeah.
And it's more than just the landscape. It's like the feeling that I have when I'm there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what art is. You're just trying to get that to transcend and share and connect it with somebody else.
Yeah.
When I say, and I'm a sucker for tears, I paused at one point. My fingers were frozen. It was I'm like gripping this, and I have my pens and all this stuff, and I paused and I looked up and I just start crying, because I'm like, this is so beautiful. And there were more people there because the sun had come up, and I'm like, and I will always remember this, and this is my impression of it in this moment.
Yeah.
So they can take different forms too, because even then it's another example of I was doing ink, and the structured bit of my brain, and then I was like, just wash it out with color.
Yeah.
Just sink it in. So
I love the idea of being able to capture like that feeling and that emotion in a visual. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, when I see something I've created, and this is the art that I connect with other people, and I think that's the art anybody, you just connect with something different, you feel something.
Yeah.
I connect with flow, I connect with this feeling of wonder or like whimsical, and that's something I've noticed because I'm really moving forward in a new direction with my art, and I'm like, I know, like, nature's my biggest inspiration as a theme, but I also have this theme of like flow and wonder, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep playing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep playing and keep doing it and see what happens, so
I think that's great. It's perfect. That's so cool. I love it. I'm just going to keep playing. It's kind of like, I'm just going to see what I can get away with my creativity.
Yeah, and that's hard with social media, because you'd be like, oh, this might not be that good. And I'm like, put the phone away.
It doesn't matter.
Just
make it for yourself. And just play. Yeah, I love that. Just play. Because sometimes, like, you need creative expression. You know, if you keep thinking, oh, what if someone doesn't like this? What if, you know, like, people judge this? Or what if it's not good and you judge yourself? You still need to get it out of you.
Whatever that thing is. And there's no one way to do it. This is like my whole life. I'm always like in between two worlds or two things. I'm never just one thing.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think most people are like that, I'm sure. But like with art, right now I'm very into watercolor and ink, and I'm going to focus more on that. But I also love embroidery. And I love like other forms, knitting. Like I knit when we drive the RV or paint. So don't box yourself in. I feel like that's a huge error a lot of people do. This is my thing. This is the only thing that I do, which is great. If that's the thing that fills your cup, do it.
It's all about filling your cup.
But don't limit yourself. Yeah. Don't say, you know, that you can't try other things.
Yeah. I love that. And also, I think that it's really cool to do art with other people as well. Because, like, last night we were coloring some of my coloring pages, and that was so much fun. And I'm sitting here like, I don't know if I like this llama corn that I'm coloring. I don't know if I like the way that marker looks like that. And I look over, and you're creating this, like, masterpiece of a dinosaur. And I'm like, wow, I love the way you did that technique. And I feel like a little bit of me was like, oh, I'm really self-conscious right now. But then I pushed past it, and I just said, I want to know how you did that. That is amazing. And then I was like, oh, no, but then I could do this, and I could see my creative expression just, like, coming out, too, doing things I'd never even done with my coloring pages before.
That was so fun. And what you just said, I think, is a mental block it's a huge mental block in art. I have that moment a lot when I'm creating something. I look at it, and I'm like, this doesn't look like what was in my head or my heart, but I'm not going to give up on it.
Yeah.
But even when you learn a new subject, like, I mean, my bachelor's was pre-med bio. Okay. So I remember being in, like, chemistry classes and molecular bio classes and having that moment of, like, this is so hard, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then you push past it and you're like, I got it.
I got this.
But, you know, I looked at yours and I loved it. You picked the coloring page I was going to pick. And so I was stoked to see what you were going to do.
I thought that wasn't the one. I thought it was one of the other ones. So that
No, and then I kind of forgotten about the dinosaur one. It was perfect. But then you rocked it, and the next one that you did, you were like, trying all these new things, and you're like, I'm like, just play with it. Yeah. I was like, you're like, how do you think I should make texture on the llama? And I'm like, just play with it. Do different strokes, like...
And I'm like, okay, sure.
What's the worst thing that happens?
We run out of ink, and then we go to Michael's and buy more markers.
Yes, exactly.
That was just totally fine, because I love to buy
We can lose hours in Michael's together, so...
It'd be very dangerous. Yeah. But yeah, that was so much fun. And I think I love that, because as we were, like, building off of each other and new creative forms of expression were coming out, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna see what I can get away with in this coloring page. I'm gonna see how far this coloring page can go. I'm gonna make an electric blue sloth and see what happens.
Just vibe with it.
You know?
That's the fun thing about coloring pages.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be therapeutic. You just do it and see what happens. And it's supposed to be no pressure. Just, like, fun release. So...
Yeah. And it's also cool because, especially the last one I did was, like, the money mindset one. So it said, I love money and money loves me. And the more creativity I put into it, I think, especially with having an affirmation in it, it makes it so much more powerful. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I think that we've talked about this, the power of words. Mm-hmm. And so back to, like, I just like a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. I also really like calligraphy.
Yeah, so, you're really good at it.
Thank you. It just, even the meditation sometimes at night, think of a very short phrase and I'll just calligraphy it. Even on a rough day.
It sounds so therapeutic. Mm-hmm. I would love to do that, but then I would do it and be like, handwriting though, that is not my... It's not my current strong suit, but maybe I should work on that. That would be great.
Set the timer for 5 minutes and just... Yeah. Doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, but just, I love that because not only are you're doing your creative expression, but you're spending time in positive words and positive thinking.
Mm-hmm. What was the one? So, and life in general, you have rough days, you have rough weeks. The mantra that I ended up quoting was, the struggle is part of the story.
It's good.
So I'm going to have an amazing week next week, and I'm going to appreciate it even more. Yeah. And in reality, once I'm through this struggle, that's going to be part of my bigger story, I might laugh about it. I might make it a story. So treat it that way. Or you can have fun ones. I love some of the ones that you do. They're just so fun. It makes me think of a one that I saw before, when life makes you take a step back, make it a cha-cha.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah, like when I taught 5th grade, I did STEM. So there was a lot of just adapting and learning from errors and all that stuff. And I'd say, if it's a plot twist, it's a plot twist.
I love that. I think I've heard that before. Like, something changes in your life, just yell, plot twist!
Yes!
And then just move on. I love that. It's all about your perspective. And when I was learning about laughter yoga, my teacher was talking about how, she said, once you practice laughter yoga, you're just going to start to notice that when things happen, like if someone cuts you off in traffic or something bad happens, you're just going to start laughing. Just be like, of course, whatever. You just laugh it off. And then you just are it's going to become part of your habits.
Yeah.
And our habits make up our happiness.
Being aware of the moments where you could have laughed.
Yeah.
Like, reflecting at the end of the day. That all
you're like... that's just how that happened.
I love that about laughter yoga. We're gonna have to do that.
We can do some tonight. Yes. Oh my gosh, I know. I'm gonna do an animal sounds laughter yoga with you and Mark, and it's gonna be great. Guys, I could see you guys getting into this. It's gonna be really funny.
Yeah.
That's so fun. So getting back to, you mentioned before about your sunrises. So you said you want to see 12 sunrises. Mm-hmm. I also wanted to talk today about how you have this bucket list that you made for this year. Mm-hmm. So it's a 19 for 2019. So what is on it first? Let's just start with that first. And then I want to go into like how it's not too late to make one for this year or to make one in general. So how other people can make one as well. So let's see what's on it and how you're doing so far.
So when we met last year, I had that, like, what is on my bucket list? I've done my bucket list.
So I basically made you question your life. And then, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And it took me until almost 2019.
Like, what are you doing with your life, Shanae?
Yeah, so I really reflected on different areas of my life. So 19 for 2019 quite literally is 19 things that I want to do in 2019.
Super easy concept.
Yes.
You can understand.
So I thought about things in the past that I used to do that brought me a lot of joy, and maybe I wasn't doing them as much as I used to. So things like baking. Mm-hmm. Like I want bake naan, or I want to, where is it? Bake puff pastry from scratch. Bake naan. Bake pavlova. So back in undergrad, I used to bake a lot, and I just don't anymore.
Especially, you live in an RV, you have a tiny oven.
Yeah, and I had been using that as an excuse.
You don't have any counter space.
But I've baked in it, and it's doable.
You got more counter space.
It's therapeutic. I enjoy it. So I have 3 things for there. Don't just do it. And see if it still even fills your cup. Yeah. If it doesn't, that's fine.
But you tried like at least 3 times to see if you like it, and then
So there are things like take a girls trip. Mm-hmm. Take a girls trip. Soak in a hot spring.
It's a good one.
Create 6 plein air paintings. So go out into the nature 6 times.
I'm glad you explained what that was earlier, because now we understand.
Leave a note for the next reader in a book.
Ooh, I love that.
So I also have read 20 books, but I get so excited when we're traveling and we see little free libraries.
Yes, those are so cute.
Yes. Mark knows. Just pull over.
Oh boy!
We have a stash in our trunk of books to give so that we can take.
You should just print out little pieces of your artwork and just put them in all the books.
Check me out.
Yeah, or even just, like, because it's pretty, and just to brighten people's day, like, wow, free book, but look at this sweet bookmark that was inside.
That's true. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So, thinking of leaving that in a book in a little free library, or even going to, like, a bookstore. Yeah. This is my favorite books, or this is why, or just even, like...
Can you imagine finding... I love finding things, like, going to half-price books. I got a book a couple of months ago, and there was, like, a lesson plan inside of it, of, like... It didn't say where it was from, but it was on that teaching. It was about the subject of happiness. And I was just looking at this. This book is from the 90s. Who knows how long this has been in this book? I don't know. But that was really, really cool. Like, what a special bookmark.
Yeah. And it has such an impact on you. I like when I get a used book, too, sometimes, and something's underlined, or somebody wrote...
Oh, I love that. This must have been really important to that person.
Or they wrote a side note. I'm very guilty of that. If I'm into a book, it's going to be written in.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I feel like I got a book one time that had, like, snarky comments in it, which was also really entertaining.
Yeah, you enjoyed it at least.
Yeah, so the person's like, yeah, I don't know if I believe this section. I think it was a textbook. So it was kind of like that, you know, the Half-Blood Prince in Harry Potter 6, but it was like, but with snarky comments and instead of spells.
So the real world.
Continue, yes.
Yeah, so some of that was... things that used to make me happy. Physical health, because I think that's very much tied to emotional health. 365-mile challenge. So that's something I'm doing with my mom and my sister, which is just to get outside for a mile each day.
That's good.
You could bike it, you could walk it, you could swim it.
Yeah.
But get outside. And I think that's like, so good for your brain. Run a 10K. I put a lot in there for art, because this is a year where I'm really diving more into that. So it was... 6 plein air paintings. I put 6 pet portraits or animal portraits. Yeah. I kind of want to do some funky ones, too. Yeah. It could be a rhino. It doesn't have to be a cat.
Does it have to be an animal that still exists today?
No. Like a woolly mammoth?
Yeah, or even just like a made-up creature. Like, I don't know. For some reason, like a wangdoodle came to mind.
Did you make that up?
There was a book that Julie Andrews wrote is called The Last of the Really Great Wangdoodles. I don't know why that comes up so often in my memory, but yeah, I'm just like, why don't you like paint like a wangdoodle, like whatever that might, because it's an animal that doesn't exist that you could make look however you think that word
would look.
Yeah. Like I could just say wangdoodle. Show me what a wangdoodle looks like in your mind.
Probably pretty interesting.
I bet. I know, I'm imagining something with, like, a big plume of feathers. Or maybe I'm just thinking of, like, a dodo bird. I don't know, but...
It would be very interesting.
Yeah, anyways, yes. That would just be an interesting creative experiment. And then what else do you have?
Yeah, like, I think I said run a 10K.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of things that are very big, but some are they're really small. So a big one that was actually very small was set up my art Etsy account. That's something I've been wanting to do for years.
High five, girl! You did that.
Thank you for helping hold me accountable. It's set up. It's a work in progress.
It's got sales.
Yes, it's got sales.
Yeah, it's like, I set it up, but there's no products because I sold them.
Yeah, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, and then little easy things, go on a picnic.
Yeah.
So
that's beautiful.
So being self-reflective, that's a big thing. When you're going to set goals, when you're going to allow yourself to be inspired or dream big, you have to be self-reflective.
Yeah.
What are the things that I enjoy? What are the things that help me to relax? What are the things that I want to do more of, and I'm just not doing it?
Yeah.
So I need to put it on a list.
Yeah. I think that's such a great list. And what I really liked about that, too, is that you have some things on there, like you said, that were very simple. And I'm just thinking about, there's an exercise that I did for one of my training programs, and it was 100 things to do, be, and have. And I have all of these, like, really grand things on there, like meet Jen Sincero and have dinner with Jack Canfield and talk about success principles. And then I have things like buy a tea kettle.
Yeah.
Something I just go out and do, like, but I don't know, it took me so long to do that because I don't know, it just was never on my radar, but I'd always wanted one. Just go out and get it, you know?
Buy a tea kettle. Why not?
Just go buy a tea kettle. Or one of mine was, I like how sometimes you can get creative with your dreams as well, because one of mine was like, name a Crayola crown. It was on my list of things to do, and then I went to the Crayola store in Plano, Texas, and you can make your own crayon. Technically, it is a color already, but you get to name it whatever you want. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my dream happening right now. I didn't know this was a thing.
That's so cool.
So it just, like, came true that day. I'm like, cross that off the list. Like, I named a crown after my song Dolly Smiles. I'm like, this is Dolly Smiles now. This color, to me. It's actually something else, but it is Dolly Smiles to me.
So it has a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So it's really, really cool.
I love that.
Yeah, so I just think that's really fun. So when, say, like, if someone wants to come up with, like, these cool things to do, be, and have, or, like, a 19 for 2019, because there's still so much time in the year left, or whenever people are listening to this right now, what would you tell them to look for, or to put on that list?
I would say, so look back at your last year, right? Spend a decent amount of time reflecting on this past year, and what were my highlights? What was it about that was a highlight? So that's how I got soak in a hot spring. This is one of my highlight moments of 2018 was soaking in a hot spring. Somehow the stars aligned. It was just Mark and I at a hot spring at Big Bend National Park.
Wow.
Normally it's so crowded there, but it impacted me so much that I said, I need to find another hot spring.
Yeah.
So reflect and really write it down.
I think that's really good because you actually put things on there that you had done before, which I think a lot of times we think, oh, well, a bucket list has to be something that I haven't done before, or I have to do it in a different way. But, I mean, it's things that you want to do.
Yeah.
If it's something you've enjoyed before, do it again.
Yeah, I put run a 10K on there. I've run a 10K before.
Yeah.
But I want to also make my health a priority. And if
goal.
I don't set a obtainable, like a metric, something that I can be held accountable for, then I won't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be, and also another thing with your goal setting is you have to know your limits.
Yeah.
So I am not going to run a marathon. I am not even going to run a half marathon. I know my limits.
It has to be fun for you. If you're like, that doesn't sound fun, you're probably not going to want to do it.
Yeah, and I can run a 10K.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll feel, it should be something that you're like, yes, I did that.
Who puts things on a bucket list that they don't want to do?
Yeah, that's a different type of bucket list. It could be that's a checklist.
Yeah, it's
like if you're like working.
It'd be great if I got, maybe like an accomplishment list. Yeah. I feel like a bucket list is like experiences that are just like complete you and your life.
I'm sure some people get confused though between like a to-do list and a bucket list.
Yeah.
No, so like really sit down, turn your phone off, like put some music on, make some tea, coffee, glass of wine, whatever it is that is your happy bubble, and piece of paper, pen, and just really write down this past year. These were some moments, some things that really made me happier. I felt super accomplished when I did this thing, and say, well, how can I do that in a different way? Or do I just want to do that again? Like, go on a girls trip?
That's on my list for this year, too, so we should just go together.
Yes!
I think mine was, like, go on girls' trips. Because I'm like, why stop at one?
Yeah. So, and your bucket list or your 19 for 2019 can highlight things that, because we're all so busy.
Yeah.
Like, we all have the same hours in the day as Beyonce. So, what are you going to do
That's a really beautiful thing to think about.
Yeah.
We do. Did you know? Did you know that we have the same amount of time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with it? What are your priorities? Because you can't do it all. So like I had put on, like hug my mom. I don't live near my mom, right?
Yeah.
So like,
but I like that because that seems like such a simple thing to do, but it means that you have to see your mom. You have to be near your mom at least once, in a certain amount of time. So.
And your family's a priority. Yeah. My friends are a priority. Take a girls trip, right?
Yeah.
I want to pay homage to things that I used to enjoy when I was a little bit younger or a kid. I loved baking. So do I still enjoy it as an adult or semi-adult? Like, try it again. What's the worst can happen? The naan gets hard. I don't know.
But then it might be a pretty entertaining story and it's still a fun memory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I think that's really cool about it is that you're just making things into a big deal. And I think that makes things exciting.
Yes!
Yeah. Because it's not just baking. I'm baking naan. It's on my 2019 list. That's why we're at Magnolia Table right now.
Yes,
that's why we're sitting
here.
I didn't even say that
I'm
yet.
like shaking you like.
Yeah, like, this is why we're here. Like, that's why we're waiting in line. I mean, it was a 2.5 hour wait. Do we care? No, because we are on a mission.
Yes.
We're not just having lunch. We do not simply have lunch at the Magnolia Table. We are here. I drove down here for this purpose because I know that you're going to be actually parked near me next week. and I wouldn't have to drive 2 hours to come see you, but I came here because I wanted to experience this with you and check this off.
Yeah, so one of the things on my 19 for 2019 is eat at Magnolia Table. Mm-hmm. Chip and Jo, we're here!
Yes. They put in this floor and these walls and they were here in this building.
Yeah, like, so the idea of making something as simple as lunch, an adventure.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about going to the bakery and, like, we're not just gonna get a cupcake.
No.
Like, we're gonna get several cupcakes and we're gonna do a cupcake tasting.
Yes.
Like, how can you elevate something that's it's simple?
Yeah.
And it could seem silly, doesn't care. Like, yeah. I'm weird, and I like that, so let's just be weird about it.
I love making things into, like, because I think when you think about making things a big deal, sometimes you think of, like, oh, you're being dramatic. Mm. But I kind of, like, maybe we just reclaim that. Like, let's make it dramatic.
Yeah. If you've been to so, thinking of that and then tying in, like, C12 sunrises, if you've ever been to Key West, they do a sunset celebration.
Wow.
So they make something.
What is that like?
It's so fun. So you're out on the water. There's always all of the performers that are doing all the crazy things. Okay. But the sun is setting and everybody's just out there. The celebration could be different each day, I'm sure. But it's that vacation mentality of people that are there in the Keys. And you're just celebrating. Mm-hmm. You're celebrating it all being in that beautiful place, the day ending, but also, like, the beauty of a new day beginning, the evening, and just so...
Wow. I love that. It's not just... I guess what I'm getting from this is not just making things a big deal, it's making everything into a celebration. Simple things, and because you can express gratitude in a celebration, and as you focus so much on that experience, that's where the memories are going to be created. Mm-hmm. There's that serious, like, emotion that's tied into it, and when it's shared with other people, it's just that much more exciting.
Yeah, a celebration of life. Yeah. So I'm so stoked that you're here to check this off my list. Because when you have people with you, it makes those things even better. It really does.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about this, and I think we have, like 45 more minutes until our wait time.
We have 26 minutes.
Oh, we should probably go up to the front then.
Well, no, we have 26 minutes until we have to go back.
Okay, so 26 minutes until we go inside to wait for 30 more minutes by the front.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, well, we'll just make sure where we stand there. Yeah, but...
Thank goodness I set this alarm.
Yeah, I'm really glad you did that, because I'd just be like, what time is it? What time is it? Is it time to go in yet?
That's the teacher in me. I'm just gonna... I got this. You gave me a quota, got it.
Perfect.
Set the timer.
We complement each other in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I think that's good. Keep me in check. Well, I have a couple of last minute, not last minute, these are always planned, but happiness questions. Yeah. I don't have my laptop out, so I'm just going to see if I can, pull some of these out from memory.
Okay.
But...
Oh, can I say one thing quick?
Yes.
I would just say with the idea of the bucket list and dreaming big dreams, you should just not be afraid to pivot and dream a new dream. Because when you check something off your list, it can leave a void that's pretty scary. When we lived in Austin, I had my dream teacher job. It was very scary to leave that and dream a bigger dream. But it's led to so many beautiful things. So stepping out of your comfort zone, stepping into a new space, put things on your list that challenge you or make you try something new. You don't even know if you're going to love it. Just try it.
Yeah. I love that. Dream a new dream. Like, don't be afraid to dream a new dream. Because sometimes things won't work out, and that is okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes they will work out, but then you're going to have that what's next feeling inside, and that's okay. But don't feel like you need to rush into some other dream. Just, like, find a new dream. It's going to be okay.
Life is the process.
Yeah.
And, like, we're in it. Yes.
So not the destination.
Love it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add into this, or do you feel like we've covered this topic well?
I feel like I just wanted to make sure to say that.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad that you did that, because that was a really good way to just wrap that all up in. I think that was perfect.
Now I think I'm ready for these final questions.
Sweet. Okay, I'm just trying to remember what these are.
No pressure.
Yeah. No pressure. It's fine. No pressure.
Even though I had the picture of the 19 for 2019, you're like, what's on the 19 for 2019? I'm like,
that's a great question. I just know these well by heart here. Okay, alright, so here, you ready for this? Okay. Name one thing that makes you happy.
Manatees?
Yes. You're just like, manatees. Give me another one. Manatees.
I literally was like, whenever she says manatee is a good answer. No.
I'm gonna see how many questions I can ask you where manatee is a good answer.
What was one thing that...
What is your favorite animal?
Manatees.
What's your favorite food?
chocolate.
Oh my god!
I can't say manatees. Oh, it was
things that manatees also eat.
What was that first one again?
Something that makes you happy.
Oh, being outside.
Okay, I would have accepted manatees, but nature and laughing is also a good answer. That's good.
I would say being outside and just laughing.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm like, that's
these things you never know. I'm like, do I say the first thing that pops into my head?
Yeah,
because it could be weird.
No, I think that's great. That's what this is for. Okay. So, one thing that you're grateful for.
Mark.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
It's always a good one. That's a genuine. Like,
it's always a good one.
I'm so grateful because he's my support system. He's my person. So
yeah, I've been enjoying being around you guys the past day. It's been really sweet to see you guys and the way you interact.
Yeah, Mark and this life.
Yeah, Mark and life. There you go. Mm-hmm. Good answers. Okay, and then a book that you would recommend about happiness. Okay. Besides Big Magics, I'm already going to include that one.
Okay, I was going to say, that was going to be my initial reaction. So, a book that I enjoy about happiness?
Mm-hmm. Be specific there.
Okay. I don't know if you could... Okay.
Or creative expression.
I do think that this book counts.
Okay.
The book is a book that takes its time, an unhurried adventure in creative mindfulness. So, it's a flow book. They also do magazines.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've never done the magazines.
Is it like something where you it's creative and you interact with it as well?
It's very interactive.
Okay. It's like paper crafting stuff.
Yeah.
I could get into that.
It's by Irene Smith and Astrid von der Hurst.
Okay.
But what I like about it, so I thought of happiness because it does tie in the creative mindfulness, so it has a lot of hands-on paper things.
Way to just tie that in together. That was a good one.
Yes.
Good job.
But it also has articles in there. So there's a lot in there that tie in happiness.
Okay.
Whether it's... So one thing that I connected, I do a thing called Oprah Sundays. So this is a whole other book. Would be, I don't know if it's called Oprah Sundays, but she does a thing, Oprah Sundays, where she interviews people.
Okay.
And I have her book. So on Sundays, I will try to read at least one quote from Oprah Sunday.
Okay.
And do something from the mindful creativeness.
That's great. That's such a fun Sunday, self-care. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Just take a few moments. And the most recent one that I did from that was about getting into nature, but actually being present and trying to identify things in nature. So I've started trying to do that. Mark's a horticulturalist. Try not to lean on him too much.
Yeah.
But I do want to get better at, not just staring at my feet and making sure I don't trip. What's that tree?
Yeah. I feel like I'm guilty of doing that a lot, because, you don't want to fall.
Yeah.
But you also want to look around you.
Those of us that are less coordinated. Or, what's this flower? And things like that.
Well, when you notice it more, then you'll see it around you more. It's like when I tell you to look at all the pink things in this car, and you're like, wow, everything is pink.
Yeah.
But what was blue? Well, everything was also blue, but what was yellow?
You're like,
I didn't see any yellow. There was
this thing.
Yeah, there you go. When you focus on it, you'll see it. Yeah. Okay, so how about a podcast that you're listening to?
Okay. I really like... I have two main podcasts. So the first one that I'm super excited about is because it's new. Emily Jeffords just started a podcast called Do It for the Process. And she's one of my big art inspirations. Okay. So, great. She's one of the art voices in the back of my head that's deconnect, just do it for the process, create in whatever creation looks like for you. But another one that I listen to a lot is the Happier Podcast by Gretchen Rubin.
Okay, cool.
Those are my two that are normally at the top.
Yeah.
I could go though, because I'm also Woman on the Road, She Explores. I know you only wanted one, but...
No, that's great, because I feel like every person... When I ask them about a particular subject, they have podcasts and different things. Sometimes I feel like every once in a while someone will just throw a murder podcast at me. I feel like that happens actually a lot. Cause,
don't interview them in your car.
But with this, it just ties in so well to the subject that we're talking about today.
Yeah, I couldn't, there was another one, I don't remember the title of it, but it was, I love books. So it was this gentleman that interviews people about a book that impacted their life. And they're very short.
Yeah, I'm wondering, that's a very specific thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, interesting. New podcast structure. I'm going to check into that. Cool. Well, usually my final question is something on your bucket list. But we kind of spent the whole time talking about your bucket list. But is there something on, another big goal that you didn't mention that's not on your 2019 list? Is there, something else that would just be really cool?
So, the one thing that I put on my bucket list... that is going to be a challenge. So I really do think you should put something on that challenges you, and you're like, I don't know, but I'm going to try, was to complete Rosetta Stone. The Spanish Rosetta Stone. Okay. I mean, I lived in Texas for 3 years. I taught ESL students. I should be fluent in Spanish.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Northeast. People, at least when I was younger, weren't speaking Spanish as much there. But it's something that I want to be able to do.
I think that's something that, like, if you really put a lot of time into it, you could make it happen. But I like that is a big goal.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's going to be a push. And I know it. Like, and I'm trying, I have I have a planner that I use as like a gratitude journal /reflection /habit tracker.
Oh, great.
And at the end of each day, these are the habits that I'm tracking, and I've put in there like, did you do a lesson of Rosetta Stone today? So I put that out there, and like, there's the part of me that's like, I haven't really been doing that good at it, but that's okay, because it goes back to there's only so many hours in the day.
And you're still working on it. It's so important to you.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, I mean, someday you would like to do that, and you're moving towards it, and
I always want to be building my brain. That's the sciencey part of me. Like, I want to nourish my creative spirit. I want to stay emotionally and physically healthy, but I also think it's so important to just keep learning.
Yeah,
do
keep
something.
Learning. Keep your mind active. Learning Spanish. Well, that's so great, Shanae. Thank you so much for joining me in my car.
This has been so fun. Now that we're, like, ravished.
Yeah, I feel like this should be, like, car conversations with Kelsey.
Cars and coffee.
Conversations with Kelsey. Like, CCCK.
Yeah. You're like, but if you don't think about it, it makes sense.
There you go. Yeah, I like it. Cool. And where is a good place for people to connect with you?
Yeah, so our travel account, Mark and I post for our travels on Trail Mix and Chocolate.
See where the chocolate's coming in here.
Yes, I love chocolate.
What do I like to eat? Chocolate.
What do you like to eat? Chocolate. Literally be like, what's your favorite food? And I'm always like, chocolate. Like that. I was expecting like Chinese food. I'm like,
chocolate.
But okay.
Trail mix, chocolate. You're the chocolate part.
Yeah. So the thing, seek a sweet life of adventure is the trail mix and chocolate.
I see what you did there. That's clever.
And then you can follow my art journey on Shanae McDevitt Art.
And also, I hear you have an Etsy shop now.
Yes, I do.
Hopefully, there's going to be art in it. Or it's just so hot. People just keep buying it.
Yeah. So my goal is, and I think it's one of those things you don't realize the back work to it. It does take a lot of work to put each posting up.
It does.
While still working a full-time job and creating art. Yeah. Getting up at 6 a.m., create art, work, make time to create, post, whatever. But my goal is to be posting weekly, one listing each week. So follow the journey on my Instagram account. I have the link to my Etsy on the Instagram page. If you love the shop, it will notify you when I post a new listing.
Yeah, because I love it, and then I get it, and then I go on, I heart it. And then usually I'll check it back, and it's gone.
Yes, that's what's been happening. But that's the biggest compliment. It's the biggest compliment, right?
That's good. And then once we, get some, like, prints up in that shop, then people can print it out, and they can have a little piece of inspiration with them wherever they go.
That's what I want. I want to be able to put my inspiration, the things that fill me with wonder and awe, into some form of creation, and then be able to share with people. So the next thing is figuring out creating prints of the original pieces, because the originals are selling pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I mean, also, you want to be able to have, a piece of that yourself, especially if it's going to someone else who in your home.
There are some that are hard, and you go,
it's a piece of you. But if you have the prints, and you can also keep them yourself, and just be like an art hoarder of your inspiration, and,
We want to share it, though.
Yeah. But then that's what the prints are for, so then at least whoever has the original, other people can also still enjoy it. Yeah. Use your art to spread as much happiness as possible.
Absolutely.
That's the joy. Well, thank you so much for being here in my car with me today.
Thanks for coming down here and helping me get this off my bucket list.
Yes! I hope this food is going to be good.
It's going to be delicious.
We're going to take photos of it. I know we're going to be hungry, but we need to take photos so that we can document that we were actually here.
We got this.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's already
I think we still have like 30 minutes before it,
Yeah, we have 13 minutes so we could go get a line.
Okay.
So.
All right,
we filled it up. I love talking to you.
Cool. Well, this was so much fun, and I'm going to press stop on the episode now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode with Shanae McDevitt. I hope you've been inspired to create your own bucket list full of wonderful experiences. Okay, here's the dramatic ending to our Magnolia table story. After the recording, we still had nearly 50 minutes until our quoted time for a table. We continued to chat and decided to head over to the front about 30 minutes early, in case we got in sooner. You never know. Suddenly, I checked my phone. A message had come through 4 minutes earlier that I had not seen. Our table was ready. We only had 3 minutes to jump out of the car, run across the parking lot, and claim our table. I shoved Shanae out of the car with her shoes and backpack. Sorry, Shanae. Flustered, I followed behind, awkwardly running, with my backpack swinging from side to side. And as I opened the doors of the restaurant, I saw Shanae sitting on the other side, beaming with joy. I pumped my fists in the air in victory as I made my way to our table, while everyone else casually enjoyed their brunch, with no notice of the incredible feat we had just accomplished. Then we enjoyed our brunch and had a wonderful time. Head over to the show notes for the photos from this very special experience. I hope you enjoyed this episode and the story behind it. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Positively Delighted Show. Be sure to head over to positivelydelighted.com to get the show notes for this episode. If you liked the show so far and you've been learning a lot from the content, I would love if you could go to iTunes or your favorite podcast listening app and leave a review. You would be my favorite person ever. Thank you so much again, and I hope you have a positively delighted day. See you next time.